Hi, good morning everyone. How are you doing? So, you might be wondering what am I doing in my kitchen and why I'm wearing an apron. Can you guess? Yes, that's right. I'm going to cook something. What am I going to cook? A cake, my favorite cake of all of them. And why is that? Because, and now I'm going to tell you a little secret, because next Monday, 25th of May, it's my birthday. So I want to celebrate it cooking and eating, of course, my favorite cake. So, first of all, before I start, I'm going to explain you that I have this paper here on the table. That is a document, is a recipe with a recipe that I have already sent it to you. So you can follow the steps of the instructions for this cake, reading this paper, or just watching this video. Okay, so I have it here and I'm going to look at it to not forget nothing and to follow the steps like in the correct way. Okay, so first of all, what do we need? The ingredients we need. Oh, I was about to forget. The name of this cake is chocolate trunk because it's made of chocolate and it seems a trunk or a log of wood. Yes, a little branch from a tree. So now, yes, which are the ingredients do we need? We need Marie biscuits. So these are the biscuits you need. Okay, they are called Maria, so they are super suitable for me. Caramelized milk or dulce de leche in Spanish, that I'm sure you know it. Some chocolate to melt. That's a special hot chocolate. It's prepared to be melted on the stove, and then a little bit of milk. All these quantities, okay. I'm not going to tell you how much quantity do you need of all of these ingredients because it depends on for how many people are you doing it. So in that case, I'm going to do it for 3 people that we are at home. So I'm going to use 10, 12 biscuits, just a little bit of caramelized milk or dulce de leche, and a little bit of milk and chocolate. But you maybe are more than me at home, so you will need a larger quantities. So utensils, we need a large dish or platter like this one. So large is the important thing, an important characteristic, because the cake is going to be shaped. It has a large shape, so we need this kind of dish. Then a tablespoon, normal spoon like the one we use for a soup, or the knife. You will see that you can use one of them, so they are not or just one or the other one, the one you prefer. Then a wood spoon and a pot, and I'm going to keep these 2 things on the stove because we are going to need it later. And of course, and that's very important, some napkin or some tissue, because this recipe is really sticky and very sticky and very dirty, so you will need to wash your hands. And of course, before starting, wash your hands, please. That's one of the most important utensils, your hands. Okay, I have already washed them 2 minutes ago. So let's start. First step, prepare the ingredients. We have already done that. Second step, take a biscuit, and I'm going to use the knife because I don't want to have too much dulce de leche, because then it gets too sticky and it doesn't work. So with the knife, take a little bit of dulce de leche and spread it. I'm spreading the caramelized milk on the flat side of the biscuit. So that's very important. This kind of biscuits has 2 sides. The side with the name that says Maria, that is a little bit rounded, and another side that is flatter than the previous one. So this is the side, the flat side is the side you have to use to put the dulce de leche, okay? So not too much, just a little bit, because otherwise it gets too much, too sticky and slippery, and the recipe is not gonna work, okay? So first biscuit, repeat this step with all the biscuits. So caramelized milk on the flat side. Okay, in that case I told you I have 10 biscuits, so I'm going to repeat this step 10 times. Watch out now, very important step. I have the first biscuit on the plate, so the second one I'm going to stick them using the caramelized milk or the dulce de leche as a glue. So the first one has the dulce de leche facing up, so with the second one with the dulce de leche facing up as well, I'm going to stick them from the this face. Okay, so the first one was facing up and I stick the second one facing up as well, always the dulce de leche facing up, and so that can work, so it's going to work as a glue between the biscuits, and I have like a little hamburger. So I have to repeat this step as many times as biscuits I have. Okay, so in that case I have 10 biscuits. Look, yes, press a little bit, you can press a little bit to be sure that they stick together, that they held together, but not too much, because then the biscuit can break in the middle. Okay, so it's very important they do not break, because then the cake is not going to stay straight. Okay, repeat this as many times as you have the biscuit. Very important, again, you have to do it, you have to put the dulce de leche on the flat side. Look, I'm doing a little tower, a little biscuit tower, biscuit, caramelized milk, biscuit, caramelized milk, mix it, and this, keep doing it till you use all the biscuits. What can happen? That your tower gets so tall, because you are doing it bigger than me. So then, for example, imagine now that's too tall and the biscuits start to slip and to get slippery and they are falling. So you can take the little tower, yes, and turn it so it stays like it's lying on the plate. Okay, so in that case that's too little to stay for the moment. Let's see. No, so from my, in that case I have too little biscuits, I mean not enough biscuits to for them to stay lying on the plate. So in that case, for me it's better to just do a little tower. Okay, repeat this step 10 times. Look, the first biscuits are starting to get out all this caramelized milk, so that's important. So for that reason you don't have to put a lot of it, because otherwise it gets too slippery. Okay, look, now the tower is quite tall, so try to, that's right, try to turn it so it keeps laying on the plate. Let's see if it stills. Yeah, quite well. You may need some help. You can put, for example, something to keep it. That's right. Okay, so it has to be in that shape. Okay, and the last one, of course, yes, I was about to get wrong. And the last one, as the previous one already has a little bit of caramelized milk, for the last one you don't need to put anything, because you're going to you're going to finish the cake. Okay, but I'm going to put a little bit because the previous one doesn't have enough. Perfect. Great. So can you see that my cake, I'm super sticky, my fingers are super sticky. My cake is that size because we are just 3 people at home, so we don't want to eat a lot of cake. So this is the size of a cake made with 10 biscuits, okay? But you may need more quantities, okay? So let's let this little cake rest for a while, okay? I'm going to just use the knife as well to be sure it doesn't fall apart. Okay, great. I'm going to wash my hands because they are super sticky. Okay, so now let's see, we have done step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, perfect. 7, we have repeat all the steps as many times as biscuits do we have, and let's let it rest for a while. It's very important it keeps upright, okay? So in that case it's a little bit slippery and I'm afraid going to fall, but let's fingers crossed it doesn't happen. So while this is resting, the little cake is resting, it's time to use the chocolate and the milk, okay? Again, the quantities depend on how big do you want your cake. So in that case, as we just have a cake done with 10 biscuits, I'm going to use around 25 grams of chocolate, okay? So put the chocolate on the pot with just a little bit of milk, a drink of milk, okay? Very little, and then switch on the stove in the minimum fire, because it's very important when you melt chocolate that it doesn't burn, it doesn't get burned, because then it's very disgusting and it's not healthy at all. So you have to melt the chocolate in the pot, okay? In that step, children, you may need the help of your dad or mom. It's very important because you are cooking with fire, so that's quite dangerous. So please, moms and dads, if you can help your children to do that, your kids to do that in that step, that will be awesome. The other steps, as you've seen, they are quite simple for them to follow. Okay, so the chocolate is melting. While the chocolate is finishing to melt, let me remember you that you have at the end of the recipe you have two important advices. One of them is what I've said already 2 minutes ago about adult supervision, that this recipe can be done with, for children. It's quite easy, but in that step they may need your help because they are cooking with the stuff with the fire. And another important information is about allergies and intolerances, okay? So this recipe has, as you've seen, gluten, sugar, lactose, chocolate, and might contain the biscuits some dry fruit traces. So if any of your family members is allergic or intolerant to any of these ingredients, you should try to find an alternative. Yeah, for example, special biscuits or... Okay, I think I will need a little bit more of chocolate. Okay, that's not enough for my cake, so I'm going to break and use a little bit more, okay? So that takes a while, but it's very important you are watching the fire all the time, because the chocolate, it's quite easy to burn. Okay, a little bit of more milk. It's the quantities while melting the chocolate are quite good. So you have to be careful with that. So the quantities melting the chocolate are quite depends on you. I mean, you have to just be sure it will be enough or not too much for your cake. Okay, yes, that's getting delicious. The smell, I love the smell. The chocolate, the melted chocolate smell is amazing. Okay, so perfect. Maybe a little bit more. So it gets more liquid, otherwise it's difficult to spread. Okay, so I think it's enough. So switch off the fire, very important, and take the chocolate to the cake. Cross our fingers it doesn't falls a little bit, so I will keep the... Okay, so once you have done the cake and you have melted the chocolate, okay, can you see that? Delicious, right? So it's time for you to spread the chocolate above the above the biscuits, okay? So you cover it with chocolate. Okay, it's falling apart, but okay, you can keep it with your fingers. When the chocolate gets cools down, okay, it's going to work as a glue as well. So you may need to keep together the biscuits with your fingers, pressing, and then put some chocolate. Use all the chocolate. Be sure that all the cookies, all the biscuits are covered. Okay. Okay, I think, look, the chocolate of course falls down. Use it to cover all the biscuit. Looks delicious, right? Super sticky and super dirty, but I assure you it's delicious. So finish the chocolate, use it all. I mean, it's not a cake that looks like beautiful, but I assure you it's delicious. You will love it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so be sure there is chocolate everywhere. Okay, perfect. Use all the parts I think, because I have used not too many biscuits, just 10. It's not staying upright, okay? But the idea is that one. So I think for you will be better to do it bigger so it doesn't fall apart. Okay? So here you have the cake. As you can see, super sticky and super slippery. I might use too much dulce de leche, but the idea is this one. So once you have this kind of chocolate worm or chocolate trunk, you should put it on the fridge. Okay. So one thing you can do is to use a fork. Okay. Look, I'm going to show you. To use a fork, because we are doing a trunk. So a trunk has some marks. So use a fork to draw on the surface, on the chocolate, wavy lines, so it seems a real trunk. That's just a little trick for the end, if you want to do it. If not, you cannot do it. And then, to get the chocolate cold, you have to put it on the fridge. Okay? In the fridge. Super. So that way it cools down. Okay? So you can eat it once it's cold, because otherwise it's too sticky and the chocolate stills warm, and it's a cake to eat cold. Okay? And one last trick, and that's very, very, very important, you keep it in mind. Once you have cooled down the cake, you have to cut it diagonally. I mean, not like not slices, like I don't know, the cheese, for example, or the ham that you take and you do it vertically, okay, or straight. You have to do it diagonally. Why? Because if you cut it straight or vertical, you are going to cut in between the biscuits, so everything is going to fall apart and it's not going to be nice. You are going to destroy the cake. So please cut it diagonally. But of course, once it's cooled down and once you're going to eat. Okay, so I hope you like the recipe. I hope you you enjoy the time doing it at home. Okay, and of course, I hope it tastes delicious for you. So once I finish to do the recipe, I want you to do it. So you have to send me the video or pictures if you prefer, but of you doing cooking this cake, okay? And or any other thing. For example, if you say, Teacher Maria, I prefer to do, I don't know, a recipe that I have of my favorite cake, or something salty, a salad, or any other dessert like yogurt with cereals, or any other that is simpler or easier for you. So you can also send me the video, the pictures of your own recipe. Okay, so the pictures of the video of you cooking this cake I've done, or any other thing you like. Okay, so that's the end of the video. I hope you like it and you enjoy it, and that if you do my cake, you like it as me, because I really love it. Okay, so take care and see you soon. Bye.